Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome to my hobby blog. Today we are talking about one of my favorite Dario Argento films. I know a lot of people do not like it. It is one that I feel like a lot of people don't give a chance for. People say, I believe Inferno or Opera is his last good movie, but I argue that this one is just as good as his best ones, but more on the fun side rather than filmmaking. And what am I talking about? We are talking about 1984's Phenomena, starring Jennifer Connolly, Donald Pleasance, and Daria Nicolodi, who is a frequent collaborator with Dario Argento. And I really like her in this movie, but she is underutilized, in my opinion. I was very unlucky in that I bought this during the Synapse sale, and maybe a day later, Synapse, along with Era Video, announced the 4K release, which is going to be much beefier than this release. This has 3 cuts of the movie, the 116-minute, the 110-minute, and then the American cut, which is called Creepers. I haven't seen Creepers, but I have seen the 116 minute one just now for the first time. And then the theatrical one I've seen many times. This is a movie I rewatch regularly. It is so much fun. You have a young Jennifer Connolly controlling bugs with her mind when she sleepwalks at this school where she is learning something. I don't know if they ever even talk about what they're learning. It's not like Suspiria where we get that scene, the one scene of them actually dancing at the dance school, but it's a similar school in this one, and there's a rampaging madman who is killing young girls who go to the school one by one, and all the staff are kind of nervous, trying to figure out what's happening. Jennifer Connelly comes from America and is the daughter of a pretty famous actor, and she goes to the school and discovers she has magical powers. And again, Donald Pleasance is in this movie, and he is the character he always plays. He's always an exposition guy, kind of explaining what's going on. But the big highlight for me, and I have a whole list of stuff that I love in this movie and why it's one of my favorite Dario Argento, although I recognize it's not his best in terms of filmmaking when comparing to Deep Red or Suspiria or even Cat o' Nine Tails. But I have a lot of fun with this. But Donald Pleasance has a not pet monkey, but a monkey sidekick who helps him investigate crimes, and it is so amazing. I love the monkey in this movie. He is the cutest thing ever. He has an amazing scene at the end where he kills somebody, and it is so over the top and amazing that I think it just kind of completes the movie for me, because there are slow parts throughout the movie where people are just walking around. But for the most part, this movie is very well paced. I discussed in a different video a long time ago, I think it was actually on a Withering Wash Pile episode, but I discussed this movie by Lucio Fulci called Enigma. And this is a carbon copy of Phenomena, but this came out 3 years later. And Lucio Fulci and Dario Argento were very close friends to one another. They were 2 of the top masters of Italian cinema in terms of the cult side. But when Lucio Fulci died soon after, sometime in the 90s, Dario Argento stated that, he now feels as if he's the lone, great Italian director in terms of the giallo genre. And it's a really sad interview on the Rax Mask edition, which I also discussed in the Withering Watch Pile series. But yeah, I really like this movie. This is a much better movie than people give it credit for. But I want to kind of go through the items that I love. First is the setting of this movie. This takes place in Switzerland, where you have the really big mountains, you have the cold weather, you have the mountain rivers that are very pure from the snow melt. You have Jennifer Connolly in a very early role of hers, and she is really good in this movie. I know her from Requiem for a Dream, that she did about 20 years later, or 15 years later. But she was about 14 or 15, I believe, when she made this movie, and she did really well. I know her parents are like super famous actors, but she holds her own as a main star of this movie. I've already talked about how awesome that Donald Pleasance is with his monkey investigator sidekick. That's another thing I love. Another is the music. The main theme song is one I listen to regularly, just kind of on my own. And then we get an appearance by Iron Maiden through the song Flash of the Blade, which is one of my favorite underrated Iron Maiden songs. I remember the first time I watched this, everyone saying like, "Oh, watch it, watch it. You're a fan of Iron Maiden." I'm like, what connection does Iron Maiden have to a Dario Argento movie? And so I found it on Amazon Prime, started watching it, and when that verse comes in, it's during the stalking of one of the killer's victims, and it is so perfect. Lyrics wise, it does not fit at all the song, but I love the guitar intro to that song. I love the chorus, the verses, all that. The guitars really shine by Adrian Smith and I can't remember his name. Yannick Gers, who joined Iron Maiden, I think, during this time on the album, but of Power Slave is the album. But we have an amazing theme song by Goblin, which I think I said. But Goblin is a frequent collaborator in terms of the score, as I discussed recently in my Deep Red video. Deep Red was the first Goblin soundtrack that they did for Dario Argento, and they were only chosen because Pink Floyd turned Dario Argento down. So it's really interesting how they got involved and how just lucky they were to be chosen by Dario Argento to do the theme songs. But again, another awesome thing I love in this movie is that we have a main character who controls bugs with her mind and tells them where to go. And we get a lot of great scenes of bugs helping her investigate who the killer is and using it to intimidate people, all that. Again, Daria Nicolodi, she is amazing. She is the main, screenwriter collaborator with Dario Argento. She helped with Deep Red, Suspiria, this movie, and I believe Opera. I haven't seen Opera in a very long time, but I just love Daria Nicolodi. I love when she shows up. She's always great. She always plays a really enthusiastic character. But there were some really cool deaths throughout this movie. This is the next thing I love. One is in the very beginning when we get a slashing and we get a woman's head getting decapitated by someone shoving her head through a glass pane, and it just somehow gets decapitated and falls into a mountain river. And the next death that I love is our main killer. They have a metal pole with a knife at the end, and they kind of stab people in the face with it. And one of them, Jennifer Connolly, is kind of sleepwalking and doing her bug thing, and we have the awesome Flash of the Blade song playing. And at the end of the scene, this victim, her head is shoved face first into a glass pane, and Jennifer Connolly sees this, and then you just see a knife just stab through her, the back of her neck, and go out her mouth. And it is so awesome. It looks really real. The effects are amazing in this movie. And the last, the second to last death that I really like is at the end when we get a decapitation by someone just swinging a glass pane through the neck. And they get decapitated. Our character freaks out, is really scared. And then the monkey comes and saves our main character by just slashing the killer's face open constantly. And the movie ends just right after that. And it is so awesome. I love Phenomena. I don't know why more people do not like it, but I think this is up there with some of Dario Argento's great movies. It's not as great as Deep Red or Suspiria, but I think I rank it up there with Cat o' Nine Tails. But I can't wait to watch the new 4K of it. It'll be a while until I can get into that, because I think they announced it for like April or something. Far ways away. But yeah, if you haven't seen this, you need to give it a try. This is a really good movie, borderline great in my opinion. It is just really good, and this is a really stacked release. 3 cuts of the movie, lots of interviews, a whole documentary about Dario Argento, which I haven't seen yet because I haven't seen 4 Flies on Grey Velvet or Inferno. Those are like the last 2 really big ones that I need to see, and then I'll watch it. But this is a really good release. If you don't care for 4K, go ahead and get this, and don't not waste your money, but save your money for something else if you just want Blu-ray, because this is a really stacked set. So I think that's all I have to say about Phenomena. I just rewatched it. I want to do a quick video. I haven't done many videos lately. I'm in the process of moving, but that's a whole nother thing that I want to talk about in a different video and a channel update. But yeah, Phenomena is just wonderful. I love it. But that's all. I think that's it. Thank you all for watching.